What is up, guys? It's your boy GRC, and I hope everyone's having an amazing day today. Of course, some of you guys are probably having a very desperate, depressing day, but snap out of it, guys. There's Hedron, okay? When there's Hedron, you get nothing but goosebumps. I've been DCAing into Hedron for about 3 months now, very unevenly, not very small amounts, but when you product market fit, guys, that's all I got to say. Product market fit. How many cryptos actually have product market fit in this world, Sam? Celsius, Terra Luna, Cardano? Product market fit, really? What is product market fit? Hex has product market fit. We can already all accept that. There's a time value proposition for money that you should be able to earn yield on. I think Sam would agree with that. Whether that's a little bit, whether it's overinflated, kind of a bubble, we should be able to get yield for time, period. Not the direct deposit, the bank, not the time locks at the bank. They don't even give you money. They give you negative 97% because you just get railed by Biden. But that's not the point. The point is, guys, we're learning at fast speeds. If you guys, I'm going to say this and Sam's going to I don't care. Guys that have been in crypto for 6 or 7 years are hitting up Sam Stolt on all day long. And I didn't say hitting up me. Not saying I've never been hit up. I'm just here. I just work here, guys. And, I've done a little bit of my research on Sam Stolt, believe it or not, since I've known him and talked to him daily for 6 years. You learn, it's not just like, I've been talking to this guy for a long time. There's a reason that I switched my whole life and wanted one person in this world to be on a show with me. And we're not even like homies like that. Like, we've never even touched hands. But it wasn't about that. This dude's a giga genius, guys. Sorry. Whoopsie. Whoops. And I'd say this while he's not up here because I don't have to say this while he's here. He's not like the kind of guy that wants everyone just to sit there and call him smart. Like, so I'm going to say this when I'm on my personal time. The reason this show is so good is because, one, I will work until my hands bleed. And I'm a pretty sharp kid. But Sam is gifted in a different way than me. I think I'm gifted in probably different social ways, maybe that he's not as gifted, who knows. But he's very gifted with working through these very detailed, dense concepts. He already did it with pharmacology. He's posted more videos on pharmacology that not a doctor in this world would understand a word of. Probably 10,000 plus. And I've probably watched almost all of them from a certain date back. And the point is, guys, the reason I'm so happy and when I come to Sam with my ideas and bullish, like, they tell me I'm stupid sometimes. They tell me I talk too much sometimes. They tell me I have blind spots. And I say the same thing to them sometimes. But I'm also younger, have less experience. I'm just not twisted on what position I'm in this world. And I think everyone should just man up where you're at. I'm 28, baby. Let's go. What if they be like, oh, well, Gunther's 43 and he has $5 million. So if I extrapolate my smartness over a 2-year stake, then no, retard. I've been winning since day one. 6-pack year round. And I'm happy all the time. That's what I love. That's why I love Sam. I don't really know what I was talking about, but we're getting deep into the weeds on crypto. So if you're in here and you have any bit of peace in your morning, get ready for moonshots, get ready for blood, get ready for no mercy, because I'm telling the truth about crypto. I am not associated with anyone or anything. I fucking hate all of you guys, except for my team and my mom. Okay? Because it's getting stressful. I just want intellectual peace and integrity. And I will block everyone until I feel this way. And I will talk to Sam and this Axis and Silver and Sloth and these guys that are hungry, reading all day long. I'm going to keep talking to those guys. Crypto in the morning, every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. We got a good one. Let's get it.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some Hedron, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that just in case. Jim ready to send me to show you the way. P5 Pro, yeah. Crypto
Yo, yo, yo. I just put out a very probably controversial tweet there. I actually did some arms this morning.
I don't want to know what your tweet was. Tell me after. Just tell me. Everyone read it. Everyone just read it. And Sam's been dropping truth bombs on Twitter.
I think some people who might be OGs or whatever probably don't appreciate some of the shit I'm tweeting out. But
why do you think that? Hold on. I want to poke into that. First of all, is your mic coming from your ears?
Whoa.
Oh, my bad.
You're good. No, that was good. I forgot to put it
down. So you're not a Hex OG. You're not anything to this crypto community. You're just a man who invests money. That's how you kind of are in general. So you see some people having a certain narrative. I'm asking Sam this question. I have not spoken to Sam today other than 5 minutes before the show. So how dare you? Sam, why do you think certain people are upset with certain narratives that are maybe being just shared because they're all true? They're just being shared. You see narratives, you see pushback. You're active on Twitter now. What do you see? What do you feel? And about that bias, about some of the people, why do they feel this way? All the things.
So there's naturally a bias whenever somebody has a bag in a certain direction. And I'm not saying that I'm immune to this. I'm sure that I would be the same way. But like I'm biased towards real estate. I like real estate. I love businesses, right? And so I'm biased in that direction versus like working a job. That's not something that I like to do, even though you can reduce like, the effort involved because you can basically sit on your thumb all day and not do anything, right? But when I'm tweeting out, say something like serious question, Hex goes from 4 cents to 40 cents. And that would mean that Hedron should hit over 150x. Why would I buy Hex? And there's people who are tied into their bags, right? They're tied into that money that's sitting there for them, and they think that that's pushing in the other direction.
They think I have that pull too. For some reason, just because I like Hex as a product, they think just because I have 20 whatever grand in stakes, like whether it's a huge number, 10,000, 100,000, I don't have, my whole life is not in that. Just physically, there's just not that. So how could my mind possibly think like that?
And I could see that if I had a large bag, there would be like, I'm sure I would be biased in telling people to do whatever it was that created the bag for me. But when I see other people, this has been something that's happened for quite a long time. When I see other people just talk, I'm going to say BS, but they could be talking about anything really. And then I talk with those people and I say something to them. Well, like this, I had a buddy 7 or 8 years ago when I moved to Hawaii who wasn't getting the results that he wanted in the gym. Wasn't as lean as he wanted and didn't have as much muscle as I wanted. So I told him what to do. And 2 or 3 weeks later, he didn't do anything. And he's complaining about it. And I was like, bro, you're just complaining. Shut the fuck up. Like, let's get back to do what we're doing. Like, I've told you what to do 100 times. And he got a little pissy with me, right? But the same thing like works out. You have something, right? Like you brought this up, I think yesterday or maybe this morning or whatever. Something that's product market fit. So what does that mean? It solves a need in the marketplace, right? It solves an issue in the marketplace. There's some demand inherent there.
Is it a need or is it just a premium? It's almost like because some of the stuff that they all buy has like product market fit, but like a meme coin has product market fit because people like goofball shit. But like it doesn't have a product market fit. To me is like a little speculative when I say it, maybe not as direct, but it means like there are people to buy that asset that are aware of that asset and it does something for them.
Yeah, demand, right? Premium. Yeah, same exact thing.
That word gets thrown around a lot, so that was good to just point that one out.
Product market fit literally just means that there's demand there, right? Like there's a market out of the entirety of the market, and this thing solves an issue for some segment of the population which are interested in that thing. And then there's another thing around liquidity, right? GRC has mentioned this yesterday and probably the last like 5 shows in a row.
Oh my God, I can't stop thinking about it.
But limited liquidity allows the price to jump up. It's like a double-edged sword, right? Some fucker dumps a lot, then it drives the price down faster, right? But anybody go in there and buying it drives the price up. That's why we get these runs. That's why we've had over 23x a 23x in the price of Hedron, while we've had about a 0x increase in Hex, right?
I've never felt so much dopamine in my body for a asset that I focused on, bought, and strategically DCA'd into at a bottom point. And it's not like I did when I bought Hex, because the first time I bought Hex, I did it because Motley was doing a stream and he sounded really like smart, and I just bought it.
And I'm not saying anybody
this is just me. Like, no, we've all came to these conclusions already because Richard told us the facts, but people don't listen to the facts. They listen to what they want to hear. When Richard says products with product market fit, low liquidity, he taught Alex all of this stuff before he built it. If you don't think Richard understands technology moves forward, you are the simpleton. And that's what I think. And I think Richard, I give him enough credit for being smarter than me. And that's all I could say, right? I don't know what the limits are of this world, but man, he can figure out some stuff that I was struggling at when I was just a kid, and he figured them out before he was 22, figured out everything. So what I'm saying is Richard is well aware and wanted people to build on Hex because of this reason, guys. I know it hurts. I know. Stop. I know it hurts, but Richard is a long-term thinker, and he created a smart contract that could not be changed. What does that do? Technology will move on that, because I can't change in this world. Sam, do things not change? Was Bitcoin the best thing in the world when it came out, and then people stopped wanting to use SHA-256 mining because they thought it might be less efficient than just staking your coins and earning yield on a number chart? So Richard's just detail specific. He put a product out that followed all the rules at the time. That was perfect. And then he said, I want people to build on it, and I want people to build that are great. But you guys can't read through the pictures, baby. This is artwork. You just don't see it. Alex learned for 3 years about Hex's product while it was already finished, couldn't be changed. This is another man that had a 3-year head start, came out with another product, and you guys want to act like you know everything because your bags are packed for the moon. And, Sam, you talked to some guys, and I'm never going to say anyone's name in their accounts, but they were trying to get strategies from you, and they were too heavily staked, in my opinion. That's my opinion, though. I don't know.
And it's like, I'm not like, people think that just because I have an opposing, this happens not just in this community, but it happens, you see this every single day when you talk about politics, right? Just because somebody thinks differently than you, people get so fucking butthurt and yank their panties up their fucking ass because they don't know how to deal with somebody that has an opposing point of view. Like, it's laughable. Like, grow the fuck up. You know what I mean? We're not.
They'll call you a dick. They'll just call you a dick.
Correct. And they'll get so uptight and like pissy because of like somebody has an opposing view. Like, relax.
Not even worse. I'll be like, hey, you left your fly undone, and they're like, don't say it like that, dickhead. It's like, don't say the truth like out loud in word for word. It hurts people physically when you say the exact truth about their life, because people don't look in the mirror. And it's okay, because most people don't do weird shit. Like, most people kind of just do normal shit. But like, we're all in crypto, so it's pretty crazy. Sam, talk to me about I'm gonna let you talk for a minute. Everyone wants to hear from you. And Sam can't handle criticism. That's because nobody that gives him criticism has any legs to stand on, or a picture of their face, or time on the internet, or an actual body and a presence and I'm not saying that's everybody's role, but it's hard for Sam to sit there when there's 150 people with pictures that he has no idea who you are, and he's put his face on the internet over 15,000 days in a fucking row, put his ass on the line, his fucking reputation on the line. Okay? That's why he doesn't take criticism well. He takes criticism well from me. When I say, hey, you do this weird thing that I don't think people like on your channel, but it has nothing to do with the education. It's just like this thing that young people fucking hate. And he's like, oh, dude, let me take my earbuds out and do the video like that. That'd probably be a better idea. Dude, I totally didn't think about that. I'm such a boomer. That's how we would do it.
Well, that's the point, though. So crypto carnivore, it has nothing to do with somebody being able to take criticism. It has to do with the ability to open your mind to see something else from somebody else's point of view. And one of the reasons, I've told GRC this when we started 10 months ago almost, one of the reasons I make content for the internet is because it forces me to get better. Because I have to talk to multiple different people. I have to learn new things. I have to see things from different points of view, which, what does that do for me?
Is it a life hack?
It is. It's bro.
Dude,
It's
is this a life hack that I didn't even realize I was life hacking, but I thought it was just the best way to do it because it just is?
you
And
get
I'm
so
not
much
saying
better so
everyone has to
fast.
YouTube, but I'm saying for scaling and like he wants to be this kind of entity in the world. So do I. So I didn't really realize that was the best way to get there. I just thought this would be the most fun. But now I'm realizing I am creating incentive structure when I wake up. I must be at least on Sam's level when we get on the show. And that's literally it's basically me keeping up with Sam because he'll go off without me, brother. Like he's not worried about what I'm studying. I just have to keep up. And it's not impossible. You just
And it's not like I would be mean or
it's just your
talk negative.
perspective. You just want to grow and change.
Correct.
And
That's it. That's it.
so do I.
And if somebody has be like, hey, this is like why somebody should do it, cool, right? Like I'm 100% open to that. But that's not what I'm talking about, right? Because I love getting criticism because that's how I get better. Like GRC tells me shit and he's like, yeah, hey, have you ever thought about this? And I was like, oh no, that's a good point. Let me incorporate that because that's a valid point. Or the same thing with bullish. Like I'm 100% open to criticism because the only thing I want to do, as GRC just mentioned, I just want to get better in everything that I do. And I don't care
You're
about
not just gonna fucking listen to it, dude, just because he seems smart. You know what I mean? Like he's not gonna be like, oh, how much hex do you have? Okay, hold on, let me get my calculator out. How many T-shares? How long staked out? Okay, you have this IQ. Wait, you buy it on a credit card or was it liquid fund? Okay, let me switch your IQ. Okay, how long did you hold it? Okay, you can now tell me something. Oh wait, Hedron came out. New game theory. Everything changes every day. One thing I want to say before Sam gets back, there is one person in this community that has onboarded more humans to Hex, and he has been the single most criticized person in the world about Hex, and that is $. Crypto. He's made more money than everyone watching the show off of paid courses. He's onboarded more people to Hex than everyone in this chat combined, and he's put his face and balls on the line. He's got Richard in interviews with Jordan Belfort. He got Richard interviews with people.
fresh.
You want to know what actually growing shit looks like, you pussies? You have to stop caring what everyone else is fucking saying because everyone else is following the leader. And if you want to be the leader at some point and an educator, you have to know I have to do 20% more. I have to do 10% more. I have to do because otherwise I will not be in that category. I will fade off and be like the guys that are like, hey, I bought this product 3 years ago. Nothing else can be built. I won't trust anyone. And you're wrong. I'm right because I did this 3 years ago and technology doesn't change.
Yeah. And you made a great point. Like technology clearly evolves and changes.
Like AIDS in a freaking gay house. Like, it's like, you know what I mean though? Like I can't even keep up with it. And I'm 24/7.
But this is why it's such an advantage to doing the show. Like this is between you and me, and obviously we're just happen to be online and everybody can hear what we're saying. But like you and I doing the show, you have no idea what an advantage this is for you and me because we get to talk about this kind of stuff and people get to be like, hey, Sam, you're wrong here. Hey, Sam, you completely missed this point here. We get to evolve faster because we are showing ourselves, which means we get more criticism, which means we can see that data more than other people do, which means we evolve faster. It is like a cheat code to be online. It is literally like a cheat code.
It is, but if you're not emotionally fit, don't even try. Don't even try. Don't even go for it. If you have that bias in you, if you can't stay emotionally regulated, you won't even last the day. Because I have dudes with hundreds of millions of dollars telling me every day that I'm a dumb fuck. And I'm looking them right back in the face and I'm saying, you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. You know how much balls that takes? You know how hard that is to do? You know how much stress I feel when I walk around and I know that I'm going to come on here and drop the truth because my mouth just won't fucking shut up. And I'm like, fuck, man, like this is hard. I tell my girl all the time, I'm like, I feel like I got the weight of the world on me sometimes because I don't want to hurt anyone, but I need to do this. I need to tell the truth. And it's benefiting me because look at me. I fucking made $10,000 in liquid cash and I have some staked. Half of it is staked still. And I had no money in this shit like 2 months ago. And I spent no money on the asset. I spent the most ridiculously small amount of money on the asset, like $50 buys. And it's like, it changed my entire game, but I was covering it every single day. My hex stakes are 10x. I was covering this on day one. I was here the whole time. So none of this like, oh, I'm a hex staker from 3 years ago, so I make the rules. I'm like, I'm a 10x Hedron staker. You didn't even click the buttons, you dumb fuck.
And that's that's the truth piece, right? Like the truth is when you look at the math, when you look at the data, that like if Hex goes up by a 10x, what happens to Hedron price? Right? There's a fair value, a ceiling, an arbitrage point. You can name whatever vernacular you like to call that point, and that point goes up faster than Hex does, just by the math. It's nothing special. You guys can all do this. I shared the spreadsheet the other day in the chat. Like that's what this sheet is here. If Hex goes up by a 10x, right? So what we're looking at here, and I'll just cover this real quick because we covered it the other day again. This is one T share. So this means a 555 T share, right? Costs 7,777 Hex. At 4 cents, that's $310. So that means one T share costs $310. Now, think about this for a second. What do people in this community like to do? They like to talk about T shares. That's one of the things that they love talking about, and getting more T shares. Well, if you have the opportunity to purchase T shares in 2 different places, and they're not the same price, one is higher than the other, what do you, as a functioning member of society,
Don't say it, Sam. Don't say it.
I'll be nice. I'm nice.
Don't say it, Sam. Be nice.
All right. What would you do if you could buy something at a discount versus pay full price for something? And it's exactly.
Well, I
the
have
same
morals
thing.
and integrity, so I would pay for the more expensive one.
All right.
You know what I mean? No, but that's a lot of. I was trying to show you the other side, because there is a piece of that. These Bitcoiners really do think they convince people to buy Bitcoin. But the only reason they're saying that is because they're on the board and they are like associated with it, and they are like completely tied down to their reputation on it, because they played it for 13 years and they made millions of dollars and they spent it all being stupid. So all them are tied down by assets that they over leveraged with their mouths. Do you guys know why I'm so careful with what I say? And you guys might not think I am, but I am very careful. I've only ever purchased cryptos that have product market fit in my entire life. Have you? Is that your experience? Did you go straight from 3K Bitcoin to 59K selling to 2% Hex, ride it all the way up? Now I'm at a 2X on it. I wish I took more profits. Now I'm making Hedron gains out my asshole. Okay. So how many mistakes did you make? Yeah, I got hacked once. Yeah, I took my L's. I'm 28 years old. I have never bought a shit coin. I don't gamble. I don't play video games. I mean, that's not true. I would play a video game, but like, I don't care about video games. I have a very structured life, and I am a leader on the feet, period, in my life. I don't care what anyone says. There might be people that don't agree with that on the feet here. Doesn't matter. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just want this channel moving forward, and it has no choice, because Sam would just leave it otherwise, to be honest. He would just do it in the nicest way possible too. Like, it wouldn't even be a thing.
Like, oh, I'm busy.
I did not. If he noticed that I was not willing to learn past this bias, whether it took a year or 8 months, or, you know, in this case, like 5-6 months, he would have known that I needed more time in his head, and whether I made mad gains or not. And he would say, I don't want to intellectually work on that level, but I want to be friends. Like, you know, and I would ask you questions still. And because there's nothing that can stop him from wanting the truth, because we've already accomplished a lot of the things in our life that we really want, I think. Like, did you think that when you were sitting in jail when you were 20, that you were going to have the peace of mind that you had today? A girlfriend that was so nice, generous.
I have goosebumps like you did yesterday because of that question. Like, the amount of stories and anxiety, and I've always been that kind of like wanted to achieve more and learn more and grow and accomplish more, and solve issues and make things better. And the level of peace today is crazy. Is absolutely crazy. Just like, I'm working, guys. Like, I'm sitting here talking to my buddy about something that I love.
When's the last time you got pissed drunk and went on a vacation where you just drank and fucked off?
I don't know. It's been over 10 years. I literally don't know the last time I did that.
How bad do you want to do that right now?
I have zero desire to do that.
Exactly. Learn, young man. Learn. It's about creating those incentive structures in your life. Sam knows how to party. You get depressed, you get fat, and you become a loser. and then you want to drink so it goes away because the pain. Sam doesn't feel the pain. Yes, Sam likes to experiment with these substances or whatever. And I do stuff on occasion, more experimental to be honest, and not hard shit, guys. We're just talking about in general. Like we understand like feeling good and like substances and like people have their ticks, but Sam refuses to play a game that's going to force him to be a fucking loser, and then he's going to buy his own shit and then be guess what, a 6'2" loser. Like, because it doesn't matter what you look like. Sam seems like, oh, Sam, if he was anything, he would. No, Sam was a fucking idiot. He was playing video games all day. Everyone would think he was a loser. Doesn't matter how ripped he is. That's just part of like, the workout vibes.
Yeah.
But we work out to show people too. It's a little show and telly. I'm like, guys, okay, here's Johnny Chaos sitting right here. He's telling you stuff, right? And this is just the marketing side of it, guys. Okay. He works all day long still. And he loves it, and he makes a fuck ton of money, I'm sure. And he has a fuck ton of hex, I'm sure. So you should listen to him, right? Or when you go to the beach, do you want every single girl to be like, oh, you have retardedly ripped abs? I don't care if you're rich. So it's like a marketing ploy. Like I don't have all the financial resources, right? I didn't always have the things, but I was like, I'm going to make sure everyone knows I work harder than you. And I could do it in my sleep. I'm not even working out. Sam,
I'm willing to
that efficiency shit with the working out, and like my whole shit has changed.
And I'm willing to do it for 50 years. Like I don't care. Like it's okay. I'm okay with putting in the work for the rest of my life. And like so many people were like, I want to put in the work for the next 3 months and then I want to stop putting in work. That's not how life works, guys. It's just not the solution. You got to continue putting in work for the rest of your life. And because you have to put in work for the rest of your life, I highly recommend finding work that you love by changing the story you tell yourself here so you can do things that you love every day, because it's just way better than doing work every day that you don't enjoy. But to get back into this for a moment, if you have the option to buy a T-share at one price, and then you have the option to buy that T-share at a discounted price over here, right? People who are looking for value, and what are we doing in hacks? What are we doing in crypto? Trying to make more money, right? It's not like this is not super complex. We're just trying to make more money here. What are you going to do? You're going to buy it at a discount, or you're going to pay 20 or 30% more? Most people, if they're not lying to themselves, are going to buy it at a discount. And that is what this is representing. If you can buy a T-share, remember this represents one T-share for $310. If you can buy one T-share for $310 for less than $310, then you're buying it at a discount. So what price does Hedron need to be for that to happen? Well, that price would be this, right? This price means that if you buy one T-share, that means you're going to mint one Hedron per B share per day for a total of 5.5 million Hedron, right? So then if you take all those up and you multiply that times the market price, you get to see what the actual value would be. Like I should do that right here. I should add this to the spreadsheet so that everybody gets to actually see what this is. Look at that.
Thank you so much for providing these numbers. It does give a lot of actual I'm not even just saying this to fluff. I'm just saying, like, I don't look at spreadsheets that often unless someone's showing to me, but it does really it makes it just so easy to digest.
Good. Hopefully it does.
It does. It's so much easier for me. Like you explain all these numbers, Sloth explain all these numbers, but when you lay them out there and keep them there for a minute, because it's just about learning these things, right? So having them printed in front of your face, it's like you have like 10 charts in front of your face right now, because you don't need to see the chart. I don't care about the lines. Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the supply. Let's look how pinched off this thing is. Let's look how oversold it is. Let's look if it was a direct 1-for-1 B share premium, what that would look like. And that's pretty much what you're doing here with the data.
Exactly. So now think about this, right? At this price here, right? This is Hedron price. So this is for people watching on the phone. It's 40559. The price of the 40559, that will change based upon the number of hex to purchase a T-share and the price of hex, right? Both of those things influence that. It's not like That's not a hard concept to grasp. Now, when Hedron is 5 zeros, 5, 6, 7, which is about approximately this morning, is this price. That means that there's still about a 10x before you cannot buy a T share at a discount. Somebody had mentioned in the chat here, why are you talking about Hedron? Well, because what GRC mentioned. I'm going to tell the truth, period. No matter what. And if I can get a higher return by investing into Hedron, I'm going to tell other people too, because I want other people to win. I want whoever I am speaking with to have the best information to make the best decision for them. And if the best decision for them is, hey, I want to lock my shit up for 7.5 years and not think about anything and just put this into a safe and not learn anything more, cool.
And that's totally a thing, dude. Like, that's totally a thing. Like, I hate that people are going to be like, fuck these guys. They want to study all day. No, we're freaks. We're freaks. We're weird. We like to work. Our girlfriends look at us sideways when we don't want to take a break. And we're like, this is fun. Get away. You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, I'm dating a freak. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why don't you want to drink? Why don't you want to chill? You want to go to Vegas? I'm having an anxiety attack because I have to go to Vegas tomorrow. Why? Because I want to be sitting right the fuck here. And I swear.
Yes,
I called my mother. I called my girlfriend. I called my friends. I said, how do I relax for these things? You know what I mean? I was just questioning. That's part of life, guys. For when you are, it's a double whammy. Sam is very prone to depression if he doesn't do anything. And so am I. Dude, if someone locks me in a cage, not like a jail where like there's a structure, but like if I just like was locked in, I would just die. Like my body needs to roam. I need to run. I need to grab things. And the internet's the new way to do that without moving, right? So it's just more efficient. But like before the internet, what was I doing? Door to door. I didn't know the internet yet. This shit. Like now I know I was being an asshole for 5 fucking years straight. But like just wasting my shit. But that's okay because I'm 28. You learn the lessons. I'm kind of going to stop it here because I want to show you some stuff that's
cool. Yes.
Amazing.
We're going to get into
two
interesting stuff.
So,
you want to give us context?
There was a Crypto Banter. He has a very popular YouTube channel. In my opinion, this is a lifeless human organism that potentially doesn't have a beating heart, but we'll move away from that. These guys that are around him, there's 3 guys around Richard on this one. Okay. Crypto Banter, top left, Bybit right on his chest. Bybit right on his chest because he has to get paid to talk because he's a bitch. Okay. And I'm not saying he's rich. Like he says he's rich. That's my only reason I say that. Like if you say you're rich, like what the fuck? But like don't Bybit right over the chest. But anyway, and not that Bybit's bad. But then we have another guy who's smart. And then we have this guy named Mike Alfred who hates Richard so bad he would put a 12-gauge shotgun in his mouth and blow it. And he, in this moment, I'm only going to show one clip of this. And this was the funniest part. Richard's having a beautiful conversation with these guys. These guys are smart. Period. End of story. Yes, they are emotional. You have to read through that, guys. They hate Richard so much that they can't hardly say it, but they make some fucking killer points in this shit. And if you did not watch the episode yesterday with Jack Levin, you have to watch it. Period. End of story. And I'm not even buffing. I didn't look at the numbers. I didn't look at the likes. I didn't look at nothing. That was absolute dynamite. That man is awesome. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying Richard's perfect. It's guys like them. They punch out of their weight class. Bank on guys like them. I am bullish on Jack Levin. And I don't say shit. I don't say shit about nobody. I could hardly get the Hedron shit out of my mouth. I'm bullish on founders. I don't give a shit that much anymore about some other stuff. Yes, I need immutable. Yes, I need some of those parameters done. But I think that better things can come out, period, end of story. And I'm not saying that they will. And I'm saying most things will be a fucking rug pull. Most things you won't make a killing on. But honesty and transparency will never lose. And that's why I'm banking my whole entire career on it. I could have stayed with fucking the Hex Boo-Boos, waited for the next bull run, and just jerked my dick because I staked so heavily that it would have been lit. So, or I could make some changes, move forward, try to be the guy who is the leader, who creates the thing, who can see the future. What does Silver and all these guys do? And they see the future. But in this clip in particular, Mike Alfred and these guys, they're Bitcoin advocates. And they basically spent at the top, Mike Alfred tweeted out, it was the double top. And he said, I want everyone to buy Bitcoin right now, including my mother. and it has never gone up since that point. So nothing but this man has gotten wrecked, even gotten his family wrecked, and published it all over the internet. Richard's coin has done millions and millions of percents, and you could still buy it today and make ridiculous gains off the trading if you're being a trade. I don't trade, but like I know people that do, and I see it. So understand, this is the moment in the conversation. Mike Alfred makes a little slippy poo, and Richard notices it, but he steps back a little bit. He mentions that he's on the board, and Richard didn't know this at the time, the board of something for Bitcoin. And Richard thinks right in his head, he's like, this is why you do this. And he says, that's a conflict of interest. He says it right out loud, like puts his hands up like this. He's like, that's a conflict of interest. And then he like puts his head down. He's like, holy shit. It almost seems like he thinks it's something. So I just wanted to see if this was a big deal. But after this, we're going right to the last 20-minute segment where Axis comes on and starts showing Hedron charts and blowing faces off of the fucking, it was crazy. So let's just go into this for one.
And then also, if we have a second, we have a 30-second slot. I got a package that we can get into. We can get into after this, but we got a package to open up here. I'm going to do it live.
Yes, we would love that, of course. And your Twitter action has been awesome. We appreciate when you're on Twitter quite a bit. Whoops, we don't want to do anything stupid. So we're not going to share that. We're going to go here, Microsoft Edge. I'm trying to be better with the not telling everyone where I live. Okay. So here we go. Let's just let this play. I was live, so I might have interrupted it a little bit, but I'm going to give it a minute and let's see if he does it. Mike Alfred's bottom right here. He's a popular guy. So Mike Alfred's the face here with the fake followers, you know, and then Rand top left. That's the host. So he's just a talking dumb fuck. Don't even listen to a word he says. But the guy at the bottom left, Sam, he hates Richard, but he's very smart. And he has Hex and Pulse Chain. I'd bet on it. But he's not willing to say that in the future he thinks these things will be around for 10 or 15 years. That's pretty much all he's not willing to say. But he calls Richard a genius probably 150 times. They pretty much milk his dick and then say he's a scam artist the whole time, which is basically like what good business is. So it's like, how do you follow the rules? But anyway, let's go into this and check it out. I'm just going to let it play. Stash was looking top tier. I'm not wearing the same shirt that I was last night. This man is soft shilling Bitcoin across the world, and he's on the board of whatever bullshit. It's guys, I'm just telling the truth here. Just please understand. Richard just saw that. Look at his face. He's like, these guys aren't even legit. Look at him. He's like, I thought they were legit for a second. I think Richard was having a decent conversation with these guys for a second and thinking they were open-minded. And then he actually, in this moment, became disappointed because he realized he was no longer talking to any bit of a human being in a full-on soft shill for 12 years straight. Nope. And then look at this guy right here, half smiling. Right here.
In the top left.
My God, let's rewind it. Human sacrifice. Thank you, Lord, for the Hedron gains and the sacrifice of Mr. whoever this is. I still don't know who this guy is.
Being built. It's 99% renewable energy coming from Hydro. Richard doesn't know anything about miner. We have huge.
Have you ever mined Bitcoin?
Total bullshit.
I have. Have you?
I'm on the board of a publicly traded miner. We have huge.
Have you ever mined Bitcoin?
Total bullshit.
I have. Have you?
I'm on the board of a publicly traded miner. We have huge. Total bullshit.
Have you ever mined Bitcoin?
Total bullshit.
I have. Have you?
I'm on the board of a publicly traded miner. We have huge operation.
Now, Sam, this man has never directly mentioned any direct affiliation. I watched his Twitter. I follow his Twitter. He's very popular. I'm talking extremely popular on there.
Guy in the bottom right.
Yeah. But these guys are all about freedom and integrity and all this shit. But like, he's directly tied. It's like a Senate member saying that they're like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be in the position where you're shilling this shit. It's a financial asset. He's telling everyone to buy the top. He told everyone on his followers list to buy, and it has never gone up since that moment. Is there anything that they can do to put these people in jail? Like, at what point are you such a big person and you impact another group of people and then you have ties? You know what I mean? Like, what if you were on the board of directors for SARMs and you were just like, they're the best thing in the history of the world. I want every kid to take them. I'd be like, dude, he's on the board. Like, of course, right? Or is that just business? Am I just being like, this is classic?
Well, clearly he's going to be biased, right? Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, there's some people in Hex who have all their bags tied up in Hex, right? Like they're biased in that direction. Cool. Nothing wrong with that necessarily. You know what I mean? They just don't know the other side of it.
I guess you're right. I just get so surprised about business. You know, I haven't spent enough time, you know, I was a salesy kind of guy, but less of, I'm going to run real quick to a couple of things right here. So we had a little special guest yesterday. Axis Alive wanted to come on. He's doing a paid course with Crypto Sloth and Silver the Antidote. They are making waves in this community, and I know, my bad. And I believe that the future of education will be on the internet, and it will be guys like this that are punching this hard and being this honest. And when you are this hard and this honest, Sam, do you understand why some of these guys go private? Can you tell, like, from a non-financial point of view, because there's obviously like time value ratio that you got to hold up to at least. But when it comes to what you want to say on the internet, if you really, if I was asking you for advice and you were like serious, it gets too nuanced. At what point is someone going to be like, dude, I spent money. It's your fault. Fuck you. You're lying. Celsius went to 0. You mentioned Zen and it didn't do good. Like, is there going private just seems like it's almost like a liability thing at some point? Or do you think it's just money and people are just being stupid as fuck?
Money.
Yeah, I'm so stupid. I even buy
no. But it's just money. Like people are going to act in their own self-interest, and people want to make money. And having the privacy to talk one-on-one with people is nice, right? Like you and I are having a dialogue, and people are chatting. But if we had a Zoom call once a week where everybody could come into the Zoom call and Bullish was monitoring the Zoom call and could bring up questions as people raise their hands, like that's a more intimate setting. So I think it has to do more with money piece of things, you know? You were going to pull up something.
I decided not to pull it up anymore. I think my ADD HD got the best of me. And I think that everyone that wants to watch that video should go to the last hour of that video. It's Axis Alive telling you Hedron, chart stuff, lines, all the crazy extrapolations of data, plus nuance on the actual assets in the market and how they might move differently. So if you're really interested in that, it got 1,500 views, and they usually get like 600 because I think everyone was watching that thing at the end. He posted it. Check that out, guys. There's a lot of detail there. It's 11:58. I got to remember, this isn't a marathon fest all the time anymore.
But let's get through.
Bring it up. You bring up whatever you want, and then bring up your picture.
So I did see somebody. I can go through there was two people. I think I saw Chad a while back asked something about like the 150x in Hedron versus a 10x, which I'll touch on that in a second. But I got this. Bullish had actually organized this to come through, and I got this yesterday in the mail, and I think this is pretty dope. Check this out. This came in mail yesterday. Who is that handsome fellow? Check that out. I don't know if you guys can tell. There's a little bit of a resemblance here, right? Between this picture and myself. This is a painting done by
I love it though.
Martin Axel in Switzerland. He's on Twitter. Check it out if you guys want to get something commissioned. Awesome. This hand painted, right? If you want to do a gift for somebody or something like that, for an anniversary or a special event, reach out to him on Twitter or contact him on Twitter, or I don't know what his Instagram is, but thank you, Bullish, and thank you, Martin. This is awesome. I'm either going to put this up on this wall here or stick it above my bed where my girlfriend sleeps, just so that way if she wakes up in the night, if she's ever concerned, she can just look up and then she'll have comfort and security knowing that I am watching her.
And if a robber came in and saw that stash, they would be like, I don't want the back end of this. Even if he wasn't home, they'd say, he's rocking a stash like that. It means he probably has a samurai sword. It means he's probably going to cut me into little pieces.
This guy's probably fucking weird.
He would be directly correct.
So there was a couple people who had talked about this. So I wanted to just finish running through this real quick. The value here, right? This is the advanceable amount of Hedron given. This means that there's no discount. Remember, you can buy a T-share through the contract by buying Hex and staking it, you got a T-share. Or you can buy a T-share on liquidation market. If one of them sells at a discount, that means you can buy T-shares at a discount, right? So there's a decent probability that people are going to act in their own self-interest and they're going to buy up or drive the price up of the cheaper thing so that there's not a discount. And that is what this price here is. So Hedron currently has about a 10x left to go before it gets anywhere in the vicinity of this. But what happens when, say, the number of Hex needed to purchase one T-share 15 years out, what happens, say, when that's 11,000, right? Because it's programmed in there. Well, that means now Hedron needs a 14x, assuming that Hex price stayed the same. And during that time, let's say that Hex had a 10x. So say some point between now and maybe the end of the next year.
Predicted that for you asked the audience, and maybe the median of the answers was like, I think we'll be roughly at 40 something cents, which would be a 10x at next year's time, next year.
And so 10x, 40 cents and 11,000, right? 40 cents, 11,000. What is that? That's a 140x. So remember, put this into context. Hex is cool. A lot of people like X, right? Hex goes up by 10. So that means you put in 10,000. Now you got 100 grand. Fucking awesome, right? Amazing. You just added a zero to your investment, right? In the traditional sense of legacy or in real estate and other things, adding a zero to your bag in a year, amazing, right? Well, during that same time, there's room for Hedron to get up to 140x. So you have Hex going 1 0, where Hedron's adding 2 zeros to your bag. Like, right? There's product market fit, there's limited liquidity. Hex is going to be what drives it.
There's more downside risk, but if you really know the numbers, that's where we all get so excited too. Because in a perfect world where everything was front ran and everyone did OTC deals behind the deck, like the average crypto, right? But Alex isn't your average crypto founder. Okay, this is why it's so important, this point. Because Sam, the same exact product could have came out. He could have made two nuanced details in there about the way it's distributed that it would somehow benefit him. You know how easy it is to do that in this game. You can make it benefit you if you don't even own a coin. I'll pay little Johnny down the street who has 600,000 followers, 100 grand a month in cash from my safe for him to spread the fucking word everywhere. I'm not saying that's illegal. I'm saying the shit goes on, my friends. The scammery, all the people telling you it's not, they're all lying. All of them, every one of them. And they're looking for something. I'm looking to be an educator. So that anyway, it was that sell pressure. I think, Sam, because of the harsh downtrend when it launched, I think in a perfect world, Hedron would have looked a little just more like up and to the right. And it would have made more sense. But the thing that broke everyone's brains is they forgot because everyone sold it. And if everyone sold it, it has to suck, right? And if they sold it, I better sell the rest of mine because it's probably going to zero, But I'm never going to look at the founder. I'm never going to read.
ICOSA made a massive difference. ICOSA was like the linchpin, right? That was what held everything together. Because
that's true. That's a good point. Because that was coming out as we kind of were like, oh shit, here we go. And I think I was buying maybe on speculation before I knew about ICOSA because I was like, this thing is down in dumps.
But you already recognized this. I didn't have the same faith. They're 100% straight up like GRC and bullish, or you know what I mean. They both had way more Hedron than I did, and then ICOSA comes out. We start buying daily, right? You're like this shit
and learning daily.
Correct. And this shit like is the piece there, which is fascinating.
Can you give them 2 or 3 minutes and I'll ask you the question to start it on ICOSA? Okay, let me ask my question on ICOSA and see how well you can answer it. So the reason I'm not DCing into ICOSA, although I do have a locked ICOSA bag that's earning yield at the moment, but the reason I don't have any liquid ICOSA is because I feel the upside's capped compared to Hedron, which is hard not to be. But that's the only reason I'm not going into that. Now, when it comes to the value of ICOSA, like comparatively to everything and in general, and the fact that it launched at a certain price with a certain supply, just tell the people what you know about ICOSA, things you're excited about, things maybe you're confused about, things that you like other than comparatively, etc.
So to be 100%, I have a tiny little itty bitty bag of Icosa that is staked for a period of time and earning yield on there. I'm not buying Icosa. I don't plan on purchasing Icosa. I think that Icosa personally, there's a couple different ways to kind of like view Icosa that I've been thinking about. They're just like we have the trade-off for the T share with Hex and Hedron, right? In the liquidation market. Well, you also have the I'll be done in a bit. You also have a trade-off with the Hedron and Icosa. And what do I mean by that? Well, if somebody were to sell their Icosa for X number of, sell their HSI for X number of Icosa, say it's $1,000 hex stake, and they sell that for Icosa that's valued at $900. They're taking a 10% haircut, right? But Hedron is at $990, right? Closer to the example that I just showed you. Then somebody who is acting in their own self-interest that has the education, what they're going to do is they are going to advance Hedron and not use Icosa. So one way that I see Icosa is as the almost as like a floor. If you can think about the price I just mentioned, where it has the capacity to go.
And is that
40x?
And that's kind of due to the way the supply came out too. It almost floored it. It's like it was like the floor. It's the floor because it's kind of like user based, the way that the coins got distributed initially, right? Like it could have been no one, right? Let's say no one knew about this shit for some reason, and there was no one. It would look a lot different. But what you're saying with the adoption product market fit that you see, plus the math we have on the B share, plus the rates, obviously, you're seeing that floor, it being like capped on the downside, which is important.
Well, you have that seesaw on both sides. You have the seesaw with the liquidation versus actually purchasing a Hex T share. Then you have the seesaw between the Icosa. You can sell your HSI to Icosa, or you can just take an advance against your T share and pull out the equivalent amount to Icosa there, right? So I haven't talked about it on a stream before, but this is literally what I've been. Yesterday I was journaling about this because I was like, and journaling for me is a helpful way to, iron out some of the thoughts around these things. Because you can think about the Icosa as almost as a floor underneath this, right? Where if Hedron price is above this, then nobody uses Icosa, right? But they're still using the advance, which means it's good for Hedron. Now, on the other side of it, if Hedron is below that price rate, say if you're going to sell your HSI that's $1,000 to Icosa and you get $900 worth of value out of there, you're getting a 10% haircut on there, right? So now if Hedron is below this price here, then you go back and you're being able to buy a T-share at a discount, right? So we still have to see how this all plays out. I need to take a little bit more time and kind of iron out some of the scenarios in my head. I'd love to hear some feedback or from Crypto Crypto Carnivore didn't like some criticism. So I'd love some criticism on this Crypto Carnivore, because I would love to hear other people's thoughts who have a different point of view on this, because this is one way to
Yes,
look at
and as this comes up, guys, this is extremely important news. It doesn't matter what anyone says. I could not cover it if I didn't try. If my heart's beating, I'm covering HSI auctions. If my heart's beating, I'm covering that circulating supply of Hedron, and I'm showing you that burn rate, and I'm going to throw that math in front of you all day long until you I'm not going to give you financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. I can only tell you what I do with my money, but I tell people very honestly what I do with my money. Sam, I posted a tweet. I might have said this already, and I love saying this tweet out loud because it makes me feel empowered, and it makes me feel like, yes. So I tweeted, I did a show. This was a hard show for me to do, believe it or not, at the time. I had a lot of emotional conflict at the time because the Pulse D guys, I had them on my show, but I started to see what I was seeing, and I didn't like what I was seeing personally. So I told everyone on that day, and the title of the show was, I sold all my Pulse Doge, free Pulse Doge for Hedron. And I literally did the day before, I think. And it wasn't a lot. It was like $1,000 or something of this nature. And Everyone gave me so much shit about it. No one. And then I said I was buying Hedron instead of Hex. So people were like, why aren't you buying Hex with it? And I was just like, well, I think Hedron's the best liquid opportunity at the moment. And I think that Richard Hart's taught me for 6 years straight that people with meme coins try to steal your money in the bear market. And I take Richard's advice, a lot of it, especially when it comes to people taking your money, because he is pretty clear on like a lot of scams and shit. So why am I going to hedge my bets on a picture of a dog when I could hedge my bets on an absolutely fluid product market fit system with off the B share derivative that does not have people that are saying dumbass emotional shit online all day long? Sounds way better to me, right? So why don't you start listening to me rather than listening to people that say, I have a lot of money and I'm old fat fuck. So listen to me. Nope, those guys are a dime a dozen. You know what? There's not leaders, people that are willing to put their reputation up on the chopping block to say what they believe. People that have something to, I'm willing to die for certain concepts in my life. I couldn't have said that before. Maybe about a year ago, I started feeling that way. I never felt like I accomplished enough. Now I feel like, okay, and I don't feel like I've accomplished enough, but more emotional journey stuff. Like in my emotional journey, I learned how to free myself. There's some men in this world that wouldn't die for a fucking thing. They wouldn't stand up for a fucking thing. If their girlfriend was getting robbed, they'd fucking use a human shield out of her and dip. And they'd say, God damn, I got away with that one. And when the whole, you know what you should be feeling? Like a fucking asshole. Because men were put on this world for a couple reasons, in my opinion. One, to protect people and their families. And then certain men, they go out there and they change the world. And the second that they start listening to all the guys that have been flailing while I've been working for the last 8 years, I was sober for 6 years straight from 19 to 26, not because I wanted to be. I don't really like being sober that fucking much. Yeah, I mean, I like it in the mornings and shit, but, you know, I always have a hankering for, you know, I'm that kind of guy, right? So what I'm saying is I've done a lot of emotional work on myself. I've sat in front of thousands of professionals and paid them to psychiatric professionals, not medication, but just talk. And then I was like, fuck these people. I'm talking to Sam. And that worked way better. But you know what I mean? This is an emotional journey. And that's why I want everyone to watch that show with Jack yesterday. Jack made some absolute dynamite points, Sam, that really, and it wasn't about the product. It wasn't like I'm bullish on the product because the tokenomics are so redonk. It wasn't that. It was like, oh, he's trying to make Bitcoin that actually people will say is fair. Like other people will say, hey, this is fair. And that's interesting, right? What's the biggest negative externality on all this shit? It's the bigger loser theory. You're just getting people to pay less than you and then you get more than them. And that's okay. It's not illegal. That's what they do in the stock market. That's what they do in everything. We're just following rules over here. But at the end of the day, there are going to be people in this industry that change the fucking world. And I'm picking the right guys, I think. Alex's, Richard's, Jack Levin's, Sam Stoltz. I'm hedging my bets with guys that will rip your fucking head off. And I'm fucking excited as shit about life right now. And I have a lot of shit going on in my life, stress, everything, but it's not real stress. It's just like, yeah, I'm living, man. This is living. I got money problems. I got girl problems. I got life, man. I love it. Before I was doing drugs and hiding and hoping that it would stop. Please, the pain, the emotions go away. It had nothing to do with the way I looked. Trust me, I got the six pack. The fucking brain still broke. It was broken. And that I got the six pack. I called Sam. I was like, I want more six pack. And he was like, yeah, I'll tell you how to get more six pack, but you're fucking retarded. You know what I mean? In your head. You weren't saying that to me, but you were like, you just got things to learn, kid. But anyway, that was enough of me. Sam, thank you so much for your friendship. And thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. There is nothing that I like more than that. And bullish.
This has been awesome. If you guys have any feedback or anything like that, jump down below. There's our Twitter links. You can come over and say what's good. We're gonna wrap things up with some DeFi proof.
Wait, I want to show DeFi Sexy Ladies, guys. It's a project that CZ and Bullish are working on together, guys. And I was a guest on the show. Okay, so I went on the show. It was really fun. It was light. It was funny, guys. I'm not super sexualized in general, but I like to have fun with it, you know, and make everyone have a laugh. Let's hear this clip, and then I'm going to show you the link and lower it below. E-Roots, my co-host Sam.
Oh, God. No.
B Roots, my co-host Sam,
Oh God. No.
and David James.
Who's David James?
I fucking hate you. You don't fucking know a goddamn person here. Like, I'm literally like, she has to be friends with this dude. That was just a funny little clip, guys. They're doing a fun little show over there where they say like date, marry, slap, or whatever. And it was a good time. I was not out of control, everyone. And I just wanted to show that because it's a project they're doing to help adoption in crypto and in a different way. And I think it's super awesome. Not all girls want to study all fucking day. Some of them just like to have fun and do a cool show. It helps adoption. You trust me that. Sam?
No, I'm good. I agree.
Oh,
I don't know what the context of what that was.
So it was like marry, kill, slap. So I had to name 3 people, and I was just naming the first 3 people that came to my head. And I said, Moon King, you. And I said Joker off the bat. She's like, I'm not picking Joker.
Yeah, don't give them the teasers because you haven't seen the primer. There's sound effects, there's music, there's all kinds of stuff.
And Bullish is behind that guy, not behind it, but he's working with them, and so it's funny. Like the clips, if he clips it out clean, and it's funny. Like he made that video funny, but in reality, I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, the concept behind that he was there for like 5 minutes giving her name. She had no idea who the fuck was anyone.
I named every Hexican in the fucking Hexican world, and she was like, who's that? I'm like, this is your show. But that's like, it's funny. It's always
that's
fun.
Part of the show. It's supposed to be funny.
Exactly. Guys, DeFi proof. I'm going to leave it with that. I hope everyone has a really good day. I'm going to be live in 25 minutes covering, and I might do this 2 in a row. They're going to be 15 minutes. I'm covering one clip, the first one. I couldn't do this yesterday because Witcher went live and I had to stream the whole thing. But I'm going to do one clip from his old self-help books, and I'm going to do a little commentary on it, and I'm going to publish it, and then I'm going to do another one about 15 minutes after that. So you don't have to watch them on real time, but I just wanted to show you guys I'm kind of experimenting with a few things as we move Crypto in the Morning to the group channel, or to the separate channel, so I can just say stupid S on here. Okay, guys, everyone have a great day. Sam, Bullish, your friendship means the world to me. I am a crazy motherfucker, guys. I'm going to Vegas tomorrow. Make sure you're there. I'm going to play the promo, but we're out, guys. We're not coming back. Hit that like, hit that sub. 131 in here every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. All those guys that want to tell you what to do, they don't study at 4 in the morning. Guys, have a great day. I will talk to you soon. KSB.TV presents the Pulse Masters Golf Tournament. We have 2 shotgun times, 7:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Registration is 1 hour prior. The Concord course offers a 7,034-yard par 72 layout with Bermuda fairways and large greens. The spectator pass is $55. The individual golfer is $195. In the golf foursome, $750. Play Golf Network with others and win crypto prizes September 5th, 2022. Contact us at KSBTV/golf.